What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Friday. Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast every morning being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. Father's Day is coming soon. Use the promo code at OmahaSteaks.com that activates a ton of savings, including the Burger Spectacular package that will be knocked down to $89.99, 24 burgers. Juice the promo code at OmahaSteaks.com. All right, so a 1-2 night last night. Toronto wins. Other two bets do not come in because the Cubs and the Ghost Runner, which is the single stupidest rule in all of sports. I will go down swinging on that. Now that the DH is universal, the dumbest rule in sports is let's manufacture offense and put a runner on second base and let's go play baseball because, well, why? Because we said so. Okay, we don't do it in the playoffs, though, right? No. It's only for the regular season. Don't do that. Really stupid. Really, really dumb. But Cubs scored in the top of the 11th. 2 runs given up in the bottom, and they lose the game 7-6 to the Mets. That killed the day. Unfortunately, that was a bummer. So 1-2 day, down 1.1 units on the day there. So, well, actually, no, the Cubs are down 1 unit. It was plus 104, so that was 1 unit on the loss there. So we were down 0.1 for the day. So you could have gotten plus money on Toronto. I didn't. You guys, if you bet it late, you would have gotten plus money on Toronto because it closed. Bruins closed minus 130, plus 110 on the other side for Toronto. 2-1 win for the Maple Leafs. That was somewhat predictable for the Bruins to lose that game. I actually do think the Bruins win Saturday. I think they'll win Game 7. I probably won't bet it, but I'm pretty confident the Bruins will win Game 7, although the under in a Game 7 is always really scary because you pull the goaltender early and you start to give up a bunch of goals. So I don't know how I'll play that. I may just forget it and watch it because if the Bruins lose, that's back-to-back years of blowing 3-1 series in the first round. Jim Montgomery gets fired. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be angry if that happens. I'm not a very big Jim Montgomery guy. I don't really like him all that much as behind the bench for the Bruins. He just doesn't have a killer instinct, and the team plays like their coach. It's somewhat frustrating as a Bruins fan to watch it, but neither team is beating Florida anyway, so it's not like the Bruins or the Maple Leafs are going to go far. Florida's sitting there waiting, resting, and a far better hockey team than both Boston or Toronto. So, it is what it is with the Game 7. Kind of, either team that wins that game moves on to lose to Florida in the second round of the Stanley Cup. Playoffs, all my hopes for this spring, summer. If you're in Vegas, it's summer already. Boston Celtics, who are sitting and waiting to see who they're going to play. We'll talk about Cleveland and Orlando here in just 1 second. Okay, here's what we're doing today. Basketball bet, baseball bet, Kentucky Oaks half-unit bet, and the parlay for a half a unit. The 3-1 parlay. It's not huge, but a 3-1 parlay on a Friday for the Don't Bet a Parlay parlays. I've been changing up. I'm trying to hit this now, okay? Before I was trying to get it to 6-1. Now I'm just trying to hit this, okay? Because it goes on the official record. So, we're playing it for half a unit. Let's just out of cash. Let's get 3 bets to go. Let's try to make some money out of this versus going by some arbitrary 6-1 number that I was coming up with and forced myself into from a parlay standpoint. It's Friday. You guys like me when I do this, so I'll give you a parlay here coming up in just 1 second. But let's start with basketball in Orlando and their game today against Cleveland. Orlando at home this year, they are 26-16 to the under. Cleveland on the road this year, 26-18 to the under. Total opened at 201. It's down to 199 currently. Against the Eastern Conference, Orlando 31-26 to the under. Cleveland 31-26 to the under. Now, in the first 2 games played at Orlando, the total was 202 in the first game, Game 3. It went over by 2 points. Second game was 202.5. It went under by 1.5 points. So, we're going to be really close to the number now, guys, okay? This is a game in which I would say if we get off to a slow start, 100% try to middle this, right? We're going to go under 199, but if we get 185 as a live total for this game, I think you have to try to middle it, bet the over, okay? And maybe you get them both or you don't lose anything besides 0.1, all right? That's how I'm going to do it. So officially, I'm going to play the under 199 for Orlando and Cleveland. It is a closeout game, so you may see some really tight defense and some tight players for Orlando. Backed against the wall. Crowd should be up. Orlando is a much better team at home. Orlando won both games going away against Cleveland, 121-83 and 112-89. Maybe Orlando doesn't score as many points in this game. I'm not really interested in laying 3.5 points with Orlando. Okay, I think they win. I think they cover, but I feel more strongly about both teams locking down defensively, and we'll see a game, maybe both teams going under 100. But yes, Cleveland on the road has not been good, and Orlando at home has been a much better offensive team. And you have to go, the numbers a little bit interesting. Like, we've seen some crazy numbers in the NBA playoffs, like the Mavericks in that game, in game 6 game 5 against the Clippers. They were 3-point favorites. They won by 30. Last night, we saw the Knicks being favored a little bit, or they won the game going away. I can't remember. I forget. Knicks won. I think the Knicks were favored, but I might be wrong about that. But I didn't bet that game. We just bet the first half, which, by the way, the first half under didn't come in there. That kind of stunk. But they were 3-point favorites. They won by 38. They were 2.5-point favorites. They won by 23 in games 3 and games 4. Okay, so the book's making them a 3.5-point favorite. May be a little crazy. But again, if a blowout happens, the under's in play. I do think Orlando's live to win and force a game 7, but they haven't faced elimination before, so I'll be on it personally. I'm going to bet Orlando minus 3.5, but I think the under is the better play. Under 199 for Cleveland and Orlando for 1.1 units. To baseball, the Baltimore Orioles are on the road, and they're going to throw Cole Irvin, who has won 4 consecutive starts. 7-5 against the Red Sox, 7-4 against the Twins, 5-0 against KC, and 7-0 against the Orioles. Cole Irvin has gone 6 2/3 in 7 innings in his last 2 starts. He's not given up an earned run yet, okay? Orioles have been red hot with this guy on the bump. Hunter Green going for the Reds, who is 1-2 with a 3.63 ERA. He has lost 4 of his 5 starts. He won his last start where he was great. He went 7 innings against Texas on the road, 0 earned runs. But at home against the Phillies, he gave up 4 earned in 7 innings, lost 7-0. At home against Milwaukee, gave up 6 earned runs in 6 innings in a 7-2 loss. And against the Mets, he gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. The bullpen blew it. It was a 3-2 loss there. He's 0-3. The team's 0-3 in games that Hunter Green has started for the Cincinnati Reds. I like betting on teams that are hot. I like betting on teams that I think we can ride their hot pitcher, and Irvin's been tremendous for the Orioles. It's basically minus 108, minus 110, basically a pick 'em line here. I'm taking the Orioles on the road, minus 108. If you want to go run line, it's plus 140 for the Orioles on the run line, but I'm just going to go minus 108 at FanDuel. 1.08 units on the Orioles money line here today up against the Cincinnati Reds. Now, what are we doing with the last unit? Let's talk about the Kentucky Oaks. This is not my play. Straight up, okay? This comes from a guy from FanDuel TV who appeared on my other show, The Bostonian versus the Book. Made a very strong case that the only Philly to bet in the Oaks today is Torpedo Anna. 5-2, okay, is the current number at tape time right now. That's basically 2.5 to 1, okay, for Torpedo Anna in the Kentucky Oaks. Half a unit on her to win the race. You can build anything you want off of it, okay? But I don't know anything really about the Kentucky Oaks except for what this guy gave us as the ability for this horse to win. She's been tremendous, been very impressive. Everyone says she's a beast, and he's going to take a beast to beat her, and she should come out flying after a 4-month layoff. She should be really, really good as a 3-year-old. She's someone that everyone has been talking about. 5-2 odds. I'm going with Torpedo Anna to win the Kentucky Oaks at 5-2. We'll see what the closing number is, okay? And this is horse racing, so it's pari-mutuel. So things fluctuate, numbers go up and down and crazy. I'm going to give this to you at 5-2, which is 2.5 to 1, a half a unit down on Torpedo Anna to win the Kentucky Oaks. I will do a Kentucky Derby I'm going to do this bet. 5 horses, 50-cent try box. It's a $30 ticket, okay? What the payout is depends upon the order. It depends on who comes in. But I'll give you the 5 horses on tomorrow's podcast for Saturday's Kentucky Derby, the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. I will give you 5 horses. I will give you a 50-cent try box. Yes, I'll give you the exact thing to say to the teller when you walk up to make the bet, okay? I'm not going to give it to you here today because I'm still trying to figure out the 5 horses that I'm going to use, but there's going to be a Kentucky Derby bet. It is not going to be official, okay? Because unit size, it's all different, okay? Everyone has a different size of unit. $30 might be 3 units for you, okay? I get it. But I'm just going to tell you what the ticket costs. You can bet it. I don't know how to make it official. It's impossible to make it an official play, but I'm going to give you the play. You can make it if you want. I'm telling you what I'm going to bet, and hopefully we all cash and we have a huge, who knows. This is how you can wind up getting a ridiculous hit the try with Rich Strike, like my co-host did 2 years ago, paid him $7,000, okay? So, you can hit some big numbers here in horse racing if you get the right order and the right horse to finish at the top. So I'm going to give you a 5-horse, 50-cent try box, $30 ticket to play for the Derby coming up tomorrow. But for today, it's a 5-2 ticket just to win the race. Outright, win the race, okay? Win the race. Torpedo Anna in the Kentucky Oaks today at Churchill Downs. Her to win. Is it chalky? Yes. Don't mind betting chalky bets here when it comes to a race like the Oaks. Little more afraid of it for the Derby. I'm not in on fierceness like everybody else is. That kind of concerns me with how many people are all over fierceness. I'm a little worried about that. It's a boom or bust type of horse, so tend to worry me a little bit on that. So I don't know. I may have it in the 5 horses just because, but we'll look at the weather and figure out how things are going to go here. But fierceness is definitely a horse that's got some mixed opinions. Some people are very strong on the horse. Other people are not so strong on fierceness out of the 17 coming for the Kentucky Derby. But Torpedo Anna at the Kentucky Oaks, 5-2, half a unit. So what are we doing with the other half a unit? All right. We're doing a 3-leg money line parlay. The A's have J.P. Sears pitching at home. The A's have been playing really well. They're playing the Marlins. They're only minus 130 on the money line. A's win against the Marlins. Money line, Oakland. The Clippers are on the road against the Mavericks. That series, I think, ends. Mavericks are big favorites. Clippers look dead. Mavericks win, minus 330 on the money line. And then the Nashville Predators, I think they'll keep their series alive. They will force a Game 7. They'll win at home like Toronto did. They'll beat Vancouver, get back to a Game 7. That's a minus 132 money line play. Overall, plus 305. Half a unit parlay. A's money line. Mavericks money line. Predators money line. Home team chalk parlay. Okay? 3 home teams, 3 favorites, 3-team parlay for 3-1 return at plus 305. Call it the Killer 3 parlay. Killer 3 home team parlay if you want. A's, Mavericks, Predators, half a unit to bring back 1.5 units for us here today on a Friday. All right? To recap the plays, we're going under 199, Orlando and Cleveland. Orioles money line, both those bets are 1.1 unit plays. Torpedo Anna, 5-2, half a unit for her to win the Kentucky Oaks, win the race. A's, Mavs, Predators money line parlay for a half a unit. It's a plus 305 parlay for us here today on a Friday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. Daily Use Podcast, always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.